Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow now. Let's get started. 4 signs Paul Heyman will betray Roman Reigns following his WWE SmackDown return. The return of Paul Heyman on the recent episode of WWE SmackDown has left fans buzzing ever since. The wise man didn't return alone, as he brought CM Punk with him as the 5th member of the OG Bloodline. The show concluded with a tense stare-down between Roman Reigns and Punk while Heyman stood on the apron. While the wise man's return ended the search for the OG Bloodline's 5th member, there are still 4 key signs suggesting that Heyman might betray Reigns following SmackDown. The wise man returned and introduced the Best in the World as the newest member of the OG Bloodline. During the segment, CM Punk clarified to Roman Reigns that this alliance wasn't about Reigns, it was solely about Paul Heyman. This suggests that Heyman and Punk might have already reunited, and their alliance may not be a one-time occurrence. It's possible that following Survivor Series, War Games 2024, the wise man might align himself with Punk again. If Roman Reigns tries to resist or goes against the Hall of Famers' plans, Heyman could betray Reigns and fully side with the Second City Saint. The original tribal chief attempted to call Paul Heyman on last week's SmackDown, but the call didn't connect as Heyman's number was out of service. This has made Heyman's return on this week's edition of the Blue Brand highly suspicious. It's possible that the wise man is only pretending to be aligned with Roman Reigns, but is planning to betray him at the right moment. Many fans believe that Heyman could secretly be in cahoots with Solo Sikoa, waiting for the perfect opportunity to turn against the OTC. Roman Reigns isn't the first person Paul Heyman has accompanied as a wise man or manager. Previously, the special counsel has worked with major names such as Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and more. However, Heyman has a history of betraying his clients, proving that he is not someone who can be trusted easily. This track record makes it a realistic possibility that the wise man could eventually turn on the original tribal chief as well, leading to a dramatic betrayal down the line. Another moment that has raised suspicions about Paul Heyman and could hint at his potential betrayal of Roman Reigns is a subtle wink fans noticed during the recent SmackDown. This occurred when Roman and Punk were face-to-face in the ring. Eagle-eyed fans spotted Heyman winking at Jimmy Uso, sparking speculation about his true intentions. This wink could suggest that Jimmy was the one who called Heyman to bring CM Punk into the fold. Alternatively, it might hint at a secret plan that Roman is unaware of, further fueling suspicions that the Hall of Famer may soon turn on the original tribal chief. Paul Heyman, known as the Wise Man to Roman Reigns and one of WWE's most cunning masterminds, has long been a cornerstone of Reigns' success during his record-setting Universal Championship reign. However, as the tribal cracks in the bloodline deepen and the tribal chief shows vulnerability, fans can't help but speculate. Could Heyman, WWE's ultimate opportunist, betray Roman Reigns? While Heyman has stood loyally by Reigns' side, history has shown that his allegiance is never unconditional. With Reigns' return to SmackDown sparking renewed tensions and power struggles, here are 4 signs that Heyman could be plotting a shocking betrayal. Paul Heyman's legacy in WWE is tied to his ability to spot and elevate future stars. From Brock Lesnar to CM Punk, Heyman has always sought to align himself with talent on the ascent. While Roman Reigns remains the top guy in WWE, the seeds of doubt have been planted. Injuries, backstage dissent, and the rise of other superstars, such as LA Knight and Jey Uso, have slightly dimmed Reigns' aura of invincibility. If Heyman senses that Roman's days as the tribal chief are numbered, it wouldn't be surprising for him to jump ship and back someone who promises longevity. A possible candidate for Heyman's next protégé, Solo Sikoa. The enforcer of the bloodline has quietly emerged as a dominant presence, earning comparisons to a young Brock Lesnar. Heyman might see Solo as a future megastar and could orchestrate a coup to position him as the new tribal chief. After all, Heyman has betrayed Lesnar and Punk in the past when he deemed it necessary for his survival in WWE. Why would Reigns be an exception? Heyman's nervous demeanor around Reigns and Solo during SmackDown segments has added fuel to the fire. Could his loyalties already be shifting towards Solo behind the scenes? The Bloodline, once the most dominant faction in WWE, has been falling apart at the seams. Jey Uso's defection to Raw, Jimmy Uso's erratic behavior, and Solo's silent discontent have left Roman's empire in shambles. With the faction no longer at its peak, Heyman's loyalty could waver. In past WWE storylines, Heyman has never stayed loyal to sinking ships. When Brock Lesnar became vulnerable after his loss to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31, Heyman distanced himself, only returning when Lesnar was back on top. Similarly, Heyman abandoned CM Punk after his star power waned, aligning with Ryback and Curtis Axel in an attempt to stay relevant. If Reigns' dominance continues to falter, Heyman could view a betrayal as a strategic move to protect his own legacy. WWE loves to weave reality into its storylines, and commentary about Reigns' part-time schedule and injuries could serve as a backdrop for Heyman's reasoning. He could justify his betrayal by claiming that Roman is no longer the tribal chief WWE needs. WWE often plants seeds for major betrayals months in advance, and Heyman's recent interactions with Reigns have been particularly telling. During Reigns' absence from SmackDown, Heyman appeared increasingly stressed and uncertain about the Bloodline's direction. His frantic phone calls and cryptic expressions hinted at someone caught in a storm he can no longer control. On SmackDown, Reigns' return was met with Heyman's usual subservience, but cracks were evident. Heyman seemed hesitant, almost as if he feared Roman's wrath more than he respected his leadership. This unease could be an indicator of Heyman's internal conflict. Additionally, Heyman's promos have taken on a more self-preservationist tone. He often emphasizes that he serves at the pleasure of the tribal chief, but could this be a prelude to serving a new leader? WWE's storytelling thrives on subtle cues, and Heyman's recent actions suggest he may be biding his time until the opportune moment to strike. WrestleMania season is approaching, and WWE is known for pulling out all the stops to deliver jaw-dropping moments. A betrayal by Paul Heyman would rank among the most shocking twists in modern WWE history, especially if it occurred in the main event. Imagine a scenario where Roman Reigns defends his Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes or a returning Brock Lesnar. As Reigns fights tooth and nail to retain his title, Heyman suddenly betrays him, costing him the match. This betrayal could serve multiple purposes. It would cement the challenger as the new face of WWE, while giving Reigns a fresh storyline heading into his post-title reign phase. The aftermath of such a betrayal could reignite the fire in Roman Reigns' character, forcing him to rebuild himself from the ground up. WWE could play the long game, with Reigns seeking revenge on Heyman and whoever he aligns with, setting up a redemption arc for the tribal chief. Moreover, Heyman's betrayal would elevate the story's stakes, proving once again that in WWE, alliances are as fragile as egos. If Heyman does betray Roman Reigns, the implications for the Bloodline and WWE as a whole would be massive. For Reigns, it would mark the end of an era. His record-breaking title reign has been defined by his dominance and Heyman's unwavering loyalty. Losing Heyman would not only weaken his character, but also strip him of the psychological advantage that Heyman brings to his matches and promos. For Heyman, the betrayal would solidify his reputation as WWE's ultimate chess player. Aligning with someone like Solo Sikoa or a rising star could create a new power dynamic in WWE, ensuring Heyman remains a central figure in the company's storytelling. The WWE universe would undoubtedly be split, with fans debating whether Heyman's actions were justified. This controversy could fuel months of must-watch television, keeping SmackDown at the forefront of WWE programming. Paul Heyman's potential betrayal of Roman Reigns is a storyline that writes itself. With the Bloodline in turmoil, Reigns' vulnerabilities growing, and WrestleMania season approaching, the timing couldn't be better for Heyman to turn on his tribal chief. Whether it's aligning with Solo Sikoa, backing a returning Brock Lesnar, or throwing his support behind a new challenger, Heyman's betrayal would shake WWE to its core. And while Roman Reigns may recover from such a blow, it would mark the end of his tribal chief era and the beginning of a new chapter in WWE history. As the WWE Universe watches SmackDown with bated breath, one thing is clear: Paul Heyman always has a plan, and it might not include Roman Reigns for much longer.